happy spooky season, happy October. So what we're doing today was I thought this might be really fun. For both of the older Cosplay Horror Stories videos, so the one from last year and the first one ever, something that ended up happening with those is the comments of those videos have tons and tons of people's cosplay horror stories that I have never read because they've just come in over time. I don't know how many there are. Anytime I see those videos come up in my comment feed, it's always somebody telling some story. So there might be some really short ones, there might be some really long ones, but we're gonna start with last year's video, and I just have the comment section from the video pulled up. So there could be random stuff in here, but we're gonna find the horror stories and we're gonna read them. Warning, this is just the back end of my comment section. So there might be weird random stuff in here that's just also comments, but we're looking for the horror stories, okay? Here we go. I do think this first one is a horror story. Katsuya Feather says, I was 16 cosplaying as Asuna from Sword Art Online at 2016 FanX, and a man in a blue fursuit without the head on was taking pictures of girls without asking. He took a picture of me and my two other female friends multiple times at once, and then followed us around the convention for like an hour till he showed up conveniently in line behind us to meet a voice actor. We tried toughing it out for 20 minutes in the long line in front of him till I caught him trying to stand as close as possible and attempt to feel up my ass. I didn't even read this, and we already got a crazy one right here. I know this because Asuna has long coattails on her outfit, and Mr. Blue had slipped a paw under one just before touching my butt. My friends and I end up ditching out of the line and told my closest mother figure we could told the closest mother figure we could find to walk us to the security station and report his ass. Didn't see him again after the security guard approached him in line and he walked away with him. Good ending to this story, because that's exactly what you should do. Is you should, if anything, a thing I think more people should do is if somebody does something really creepy to you, get your phone out and take a picture of them as soon as you can. Because I had a thing happen at MomoCon, and I won't tell the story because it has to do with somebody being really rude to my sister, and it really pissed me off. And basically this guy was being really rude to my sister for reasons that would be really upsetting to my sister. And I didn't get in his face, but I turned bitch mode as fast as I could. And I basically told him to go away. And I was so angry, and my anger instinct was get this idiot away from my sister as fast as I can. And I did not think to take his picture and report him to the staff. And I thought about reporting him to the staff, but by the time we had calmed down, I couldn't remember anything about what he looked like besides the kind of jacket he was wearing, but I didn't recognize the jacket. And I really wish I had taken a picture of him so that I could have just shown it to the con staff and been like, get this guy out of here. When I was 14, this drunk guy, very much an adult, at a con started hanging off my shoulder, forcing me into conversation, making jokes about me buying alcohol and trying to take photos of my not so great cosplay for his blog. By the way, before I go any further, just a trigger warning of everything for this, because I have no idea what's in these. So there will probably be creepy men. We already had the creepy blue furry. I was just warning you. These are supposed to be horror stories, but they were fine enough to be comments on YouTube. Anyway. Hanging off my shoulder, forcing me into conversation, making jokes about buying me alcohol, and asking to take photos of my not-so-great cosplay for his blog. Forgot all about him until you started the first story. None of the photos he did take ever surfaced anywhere I could find. Same con, I traded cosplays with a friend for funsies and ended up in a way oversized Vash outfit with my glasses and a big-ass ponytail. This grown-ass adult in a very nice Vash costume started mocking me, calling me fake Vash in the middle of a crowded corridor, pointing out all the wrong details and laughing when I didn't understand references to the comic/anime. I came as Artemis from Sailor Moon, had only seen a couple Trigun episodes at the time. Made me cry. I was so trapped and embarrassed. Oh my goodness. Artemis was my first cosplay. It was basically a big cat Kigu with a face and with face makeup and paws. I had never sewn anything before, and the back popped open midway through the day and started unraveling. I was in the bathroom, no change of clothes, and no shirt under the fleece, panicking when an old lady found me and rigged me up with safety pins like a dollar store fairy godmother. I'm still so grateful. Oh, don't you love a girl's bathroom help moment? I feel like whenever I'm at cons and, I've had a couple drinks and I go to the bathroom, I am like in my head ready to be somebody's savior. Like in some ways I'm hoping someone's in there with a problem that I can swoop in and be the hero to solve. Like, you need safety pins? I got you. God bless old ladies. Let's see. Ooh, a lot. Ooh, y'all, do you see this? We got a long one. Okay, here we go. I wouldn't call it a horror story, but definitely a wild first con experience. Excuse me. I got too excited. Okay. I went to my first con in February. My boyfriend lent me some cosplays. Charlie Albright and John Ward. And generally, I was more a cosplay handler than an actual cosplay. I was more cosplay handler than actually cosplaying. He was a far more experienced con goer than me, so we elected for a local con for our first year. Day 1, I had really bad insomnia the 2 days before, so I went through a bottle of ibuprofen, a bottle of Strawberry Dreams Monster, oh no, and a pack of Reese's in my bag. Oh my god. So they had ibuprofen, Monster, and Reese's. I love Reese's. I love them. Energy drinks are disgusting to me. Excuse me, I need to move my mouse because my microphone is in the way of my mouse. I quickly realized it was a bit too cold for the cosplay I was in and should have layered more, but I was generally fine. I had a good time right up until I started getting cramps so bad that I felt like I was gonna puke. I go to the bathroom. Luckily, I had shoved tampons and pads in my bag just in case. I threw up. Deal with the period blood. Okay, we have period blood going on too. Make sure I didn't wreck my boyfriend's Charlie Albright cosplay. On basically no sleep, too much painkillers, one monster, and audacity, I hobble through the day with my boyfriend. Eventually, my disability begins getting the better of me. Did they say I don't think they've told us what their disability is yet, but I guess this person has a disability. Did they say? No, they just said they had insomnia. So I don't know if that's a different. Anyway, I need to sit down badly, so I sit down by the staff members running the raffle, nursing a second monster a concerned cosplayer bought me. Invasive sleep plus actual sleep deprivation gets the better of me, and I drift off sitting there. what is invasive sleep? Like, is that like narcolepsy? I don't know what that is. My boyfriend comes and finds me and makes the executive decision to haul me home for the day and change cosplays from Barney Calhoun to Cecil Palmer. I know who Cecil Palmer is. That's Welcome to Night Vale, isn't it? I don't know. I have not known what any of the other cosplays in this story so far were. I change my tampon and pad, take another dose of painkillers, finally drink that water. We love water. Water over monsters, please. And pass the out. I sleep like the dead until dinner, then immediately pass back out after. Day 2. I'm John Ward, baby, but with pink hair because the wig was too tight for my head. Well, honestly, I love a cosplay that's not a wig. Honestly, I love I think I've said this before, one of my favorite things to see at cons is particularly Vocaloid cosplayers who are not wearing wigs, because it just takes me back to 2012 when that was so common. That's literally what everybody did. If you didn't have a wig, if you couldn't afford a wig, you just didn't wear a wig. You just wore your hair and you were wearing your Miku cosplay and it was cute and you looked cute. And I think it's cute. And I think we should normalize doing that because I think it's cute. Okay. She's got pink hair because the wig was too tight. I was a little better prepared this day. They packed 2 monsters. Plus some money to pay back the cosplayer if I found him. More tampons and pads, another water bottle, and a sleeve of saltines. I did not remember my ibuprofen. This was very important for later. I have a really good time again. We're all vibing, and then my ibuprofen starts wearing off. I run to the bathroom, take care of everything else, and then I'm digging through my bag for some more painkillers, and lo and behold, I don't have them. I decide, stupidly, to go out without alerting my boyfriend to the situation and just hope all goes well. We continue having a good time right up until I have to duck into the bathroom and throw up again. This time, my angel comes in the form of a very kind, concerned cosplay mom who gets water from my bag for me and gets some ibuprofen from her daughter. I am cured. God bless cosplay moms. I continue having a good day and manage to stay until the end of the con with only one more stop by the cosplay mom's booth in the artist alley for another dose of ibuprofen. All is well. At the end of this all, my boyfriend and I agreed that I'd skip out on the next con he was going to as I got really overstimulated really fast at a small local con, and he didn't want to risk that at a con with such an attendance jump. We also agreed to hold off until we could get me a walker and headed to another in December, and that one I'm very excited for. I promise all ye cosplay clerics, I will double check that I am fully prepared and get as much sleep as I can the night before this time. Wow. My fiance and me participated in a contest as Viola and Gascoigne from Bloodborne, which I have never finished. I have started Bloodborne more than once, so I've never finished it though. Since our performance was made to be like a theatrical performance, we got microphones strapped to us. Hers worked perfectly fine. Mine though, that's actually crazy that they had microphones in a cosplay contest. That like never happens. They never let you have live audio. Mine though, there must have been a faulty wire or something, but I ended up getting electrocuted constantly. By the end of my part, I could barely stand upright. I was extremely dizzy, but it all worked perfectly besides that. Maybe it even helped our performance, since Gascoigne has some beastly qualities. We won best performance with this one. Oh, and I was blinded by an eye wrap that his character has. All in all, a great experience, despite feeling like walking into an electric fence. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to have some kind of lesson about that, but like if a piece of equipment is electrocuting you, take it off. 2024 was my second year going to Anime Detour. It was my first time ever competing. I had a blast. I had so much fun on Saturday, even though comp stuff took over the entire day. Now, this incident didn't occur during the con day, but rather on Saturday night. I woke up in the middle of the night confronting my partner at the time and not knowing why, and then just ended up going back to sleep after a while. One of my friends asked me, "So, what about the screaming at like 5 a.m.?" I just replied, "Oh, I slept through that." And he followed up with, "No, it was you." Then it clicked. I had been confronting my partner in the middle of the night because I scared them. They told me that they'd just put their arms around me and I lost it. I screamed at the top of my lungs and was swatting at them in my sleep. Nothing like this has ever happened before, and I think it was probably a culmination of 2 hours of sleep the night prior. I was crunching in the hotel room, only eating one meal, being in cosplay for 12 hours, and having one alcoholic beverage before retiring to the hotel room for the night. Collectively, we've since dubbed the incident the jump scare. And despite my initial embarrassment and guilt, we all laugh about it now. What I've learned from this experience, though, is that I get a good amount of sleep the night before and to eat enough food on comp days. Don't be like me. Don't jump scare your friends in the hotel room. Lux says, KatsuCon 2018. I was cosplaying from a show that Mr. Vic Mignogna voiced a character in. He'd since been replaced. I was getting in the elevator with my future partner, Annie. We love Annie. And I had barely met at the time, and Vic was in there. Oh no. I gotta love though that this is like part of y'all's lore. When y'all barely knew each other, y'all got into an elevator with Vic Mignogna. If you don't know, Vic Mignogna has been ousted as like a creep for several things. I don't really know the specifics, but what I do know is, I guess this is it. I'll finish your horror story and then I'll tell you what I do know about Vic Mignogna. Anyway, excited to see cosplays from the show. We knew his reputation and had to fake being excited until we could get out of the elevator, go to our room, and stare at each other like we were in the office. Okay. Oh, now also from the Patreon chat, it looks like was that Ruby? Was he in Ruby? I don't know. I never watched Ruby. I was a fan of some Rooster Teeth stuff. I was a fan of Achievement Hunter. And we all know how that went. About Vic. Okay, so my first con. I went to my first con. My first con was in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was called EXPCon. It was really small, and we went because that was when like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was ending, and Vic Mignogna and the original voice of Alphonse from the original Full Metal Alchemist anime, I think his name is Aaron, I don't remember his last name, but Vic and Aaron were going to be there, and this was before anybody knew about Vic's reputation of being a creep. But we went and we got stuff signed by them. And what I remember from that con was we got in line. We had only gone on the Sunday, and there were a couple of our friends from school that were also going to that con, but they had been there the whole weekend. And when we got in line to wait in line to meet Vic, one of our friends from school who had been there the entire weekend said that yesterday Vic was kissing the girls on the cheek, but that now he's not doing that because his wife is there today. So even before all that, I had heard whispers that Vic was a total creep. I believe I was underage at the time, 16 or 17, going to Fan X as Blade of Marmora Keith. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. To do this, I had a bodysuit on and then hand-painted a binder. They had hand-painted a binder on top of that. On the train, a guy in some sort of full-body military-style armor kept staring at me, uncomfortable, but I went into the convention anyways, figuring I'd lose him in the crowd. No matter where I went, there he was a few feet away, still staring. This went on for a couple of hours until I found a group of furries and basically went, so this guy has been following around. I'm not an adult yet. I'm scared. Can I just hide with you guys until my friends get here? And of course they let me hang out with them. He buzzed off pretty quickly after that. And by the time my friends did get there, all was well. But God's, was that not a comfortable or fun time? I kind of love that the furries are the heroes in this story after I just had the animated video be the furries are the villains. Not sure if this qualifies as a horror story, but my wife really wants to make a gem adder from STDS9 cosplay. She has the actual soft goods done, and some friends and I were working on the latex mask. Friend one, who is a better sculptor, had sculpted the clay. We were using the paint-on method with mold builder latex, and we get into the first few layers where the paint colors go. Friend one kept insisting that gem hadar were green. I don't know. I don't know if it's green. I had to pull out a VHS tape of DS9. This was 27 years ago. LOL. Okay. To prove that they were gray. Also, for some unthinkable reason, friend one sculpted the mask in two parts. A cowl for around the neck and back of the head, then a face piece that he planned to Velcro to the cowl. Well, the Velcro he planned to latex into the mask didn't work. He tried various adhesives, didn't work. We had been working on this for about 10 hours, just coloring the mask, 3 of those hours arguing about the colors. So I just said, give me the thing, and stapled the Velcro into the latex mask, threw it back to him, and said, paint over the staples on the outside. That mask is still serviceable to this day. Interesting thing about that story, the fact that it was 27 years ago, the history of how people have done props is so interesting to me, because obviously nowadays EVA foam and like insulation foam and Warbler to some extent, like Warbler is not super popular anymore because it's so expensive, but like EVA foam is super popular because it's honestly relatively easy to use. You don't have to learn a lot of stuff. You kind of just cut stuff out and glue it. But this kind of mold making, and this kind of sculpting stuff, it's so interesting that it has been around for a really long time, and I think most people do still think of this. This is like a level up from, you know, like the EVA foam stuff, like sculpting stuff and molding stuff. And I was just thinking about this because there's so much of that stuff in Heroes of Cosplay. Like, Riddle in particular, who was on the show, was doing a lot of like casting stuff, which is like the toppest tierest of that you can get with prop making. But yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for watching this year-old Patreon stream re-upload. If you want to see the Patreon streams actually live or in full, then you can check out my Patreon because you can get access for just $1 a month. And a big thank you to Mel, or Pocket Leaves, who's editing these streams down for me so I can focus on my main channel videos. You can check out Mel's work on either their channel Pocket Leaves or Pocket Cons, and sometimes you'll even see me in their con vlogs. It's a special occurrence when it happens. But as always, if you're just watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, then you're supporting this channel too. So thank you. Bye!